Every single morning, millions of us step into this strange, shared world, our daily commute. And this story, it takes place in one of those worlds, the 6 a.m. train from New Jersey. It's a place with its own set of rules, unspoken, but everyone knows them. On these trains, the biggest rule is, well, silence. It's all about headphones in, eyes down, ear together, but you're alone. And yet, something funny happens. A kind of invisible bond starts to form between the regulars. You might not know their names, but you know their routines. They call it a train family, a silent little community held together by nothing more than the same schedule. So, our story is about two guys who were part of one of these families. For years and years, they boarded the exact same 6 a.m. train on the Northeast Corridor line. They were just familiar faces in a crowd of other familiar faces. Now, this connection, it didn't just happen overnight. It was this really slow, quiet evolution. For the first year, it was nothing more than just a nod, a simple, I see you. Then, months later, that silence started to break with a little small talk, the weather, maybe a baseball score. And after a few years, that 40-minute ride turned into something more. It became this comfortable, cherished part of their morning. But that's where it stopped. That was the boundary. Their whole friendship existed inside the metal walls of that train car for just 40 minutes a day. The second they stepped out onto the platform, poof, it was gone until the next morning. They were, in the truest sense of the word, train friends. But then, one day, that predictable, comfortable routine, it started to crack. Their little world was about to change in a big way. The story was about to enter what the source calls the dark days. The change was subtle at first, the kind of thing you might not notice right away. One of the men started to look frail. His face seemed to get a little paler each day, and these dark circles started to appear under his eyes. Then he just stopped showing up some days. And on the days he was there, all that easy energy for small talk was just completely gone. Finally, his friend couldn't ignore it anymore. He broke the silence and just asked what was wrong. The answer? It was devastating. His kidneys were failing. He was only surviving because of dialysis, and he desperately needed a transplant that, honestly, he might never get. The whole situation just felt completely hopeless. There were literally thousands of people ahead of him on the transplant list. Finding a match could take years, and he was worried he didn't have years. His hope was just fading with every single trip to the dialysis center. So, his train friend, he listened to the entire heartbreaking story, he said he was sorry, and then when the train pulled into the station, they got off, and they went their separate ways. It's a completely normal human reaction, right? And let's be honest, isn't that what most of us would do? You feel terrible for the person, you wish them the absolute best, and then you just continue on with your own life. It feels like the only thing you can do. Except, this man didn't just go on with his life. He went home that day, and he made a choice. He was about to do something that absolutely no one could have ever expected. The very next morning, on that same 6 a.m. train, a conversation took place that would change, well, everything. So when the sick man got on the train the next day, everything seemed the same. There was no note waiting for him, no big dramatic scene. His friend was just sitting there, like he always was, waiting for him. And then, in this calm, matter-of-fact voice, almost like he was talking about the train schedule, he said these words. I went to the hospital last night and got tested. We're a match. I have 2 kidneys, and I'm giving you one of mine. Just imagine hearing those words. The man couldn't speak. He just completely broke down in tears. This person, a man whose last name he had only just found out, was offering him a piece of himself. He was offering him a second chance at life. Months later, after that incredible offer became a reality, a whole new kind of bond was forged. The surgery was a complete success. Both men started the long road to recovery, and eventually, they went right back to their old routine, sitting across from each other on that 6 a.m. train. But of course, everything was different. Sure, they sat in the same seats, on the same train, but they were no longer just train friends. After an incredible act of kindness like that, no, they were brothers now. And that really leaves you with something to think about, doesn't it? It's a reminder that sometimes the biggest miracles aren't loud or dramatic. Sometimes they're hidden away in the quiet kindness of the stranger you sit next to every single day. The real question is, are we paying close enough attention to see them?